Welcome to Italy, round 15 of the MX2 Motocross World Championship. We are at the circuit of Mantova for the MX2 Grand Prix of Lombardia. Race 1 was held under cloudy skies, slightly muggy, mid-20s, but it started to rain in the break since MXGP Race 1. Not hard enough to affect the circuit conditions, but it's a little bit drizzly out there, so goggles and visibility are going to play a major factor in this race. A good start is more important than ever. Riders just coming towards the end of their sighting lap, but if you're joining us for the first time today, particularly those of you in the United States, then welcome to our broadcast here this afternoon. We're in the north of Italy, an hour and a half, 2 hours drive from Milan, slightly to the southeast of Milan, and the circuit being worked on during the break, jump faces in particular, and that's what the circuit looks like. It's quite a tight, compact area, just under 1,550 meters long. Forza Gianluca Facchetti, the young 15-year-old 125 European Championship rider who was injured in an accident this week, not bike related. So pelvic injuries sustained in the incident there for Gianluca. So we are all wishing him well. And we hope to see him on a racetrack very, very soon, or as soon as possible. But if you missed race 1 earlier, here's what happened in MX2 race 1. Harry Koulas couldn't get his bike started. That was him left stranded behind the gate. It was an electrical fault that caused a problem with the battery, but it was Jeremy Seewer who grabbed the foxhole shot. He ran wide and then he went down at turn 2, handing the advantage to Max Anstey, who led the way from Paul Jonas, the new championship leader. Tim Geiser, who was second in the championship chase, right on his tail, with Valentin Guillot just behind him in 4th, and Brian Sue riding his first ever MX2 Grand Prix race on the Rockstar Energy Suzuki. He was placed in 5th in the early stages, but first to crack under the pressure was Max Anstey. He fell from the lead, picked himself up in 4th behind the Yamaha who just went by there, Valentin Guillot. Then it was he who made a mistake. The standing construct Yamaha rider lost the front end at the top of the hill and pushed him back down the leaderboard to 6th place. Meanwhile, up front, the 41 of Paul Jonas, Red Bull KTM Factory Racing, was just riding nice and conservatively, making Tim Geiser do all the work, trying to find his way through, hoping to claw back some vital World Championship points, just 4 points separating them at the start of the race. Thomas Covington forced his way down the inside of Brian Borges, got himself into 11th place, but then he would fall the next lap down to 26th and would eventually finish out of the points. So too would Brian Borges, actually. Anstey on the rear wheel of Jonas after Geiser had made a mistake. Then suddenly challenged for the lead. He went in and out early through the next left-right combination, and by lap 12, Anstey had forced his way back into the lead and would go on to lead the next 6 laps of the race. Jonas tried to keep him honest for a little while. Big crash for one of the wildcard riders, Nicola Lapucci. Very lucky to get away with that one and rejoin the race. Eventually came home in 22nd position. But Tim Geiser in 3rd as Jens Getterman went out. He had a bit of a collision with another rider and bent the back brake lever completely round, so had to come in. It was actually when he hit Thomas Covington, who was already on the ground at that point, so completely wrecked the back brake. Had to come in for running repairs, did Jens Getterman. Geiser tried all he could to close down on Jonas here in 2nd, but it was to no avail. And the Red Bull KTM rider looking very assured at the front of the field for the first 11 laps, and looking equally composed in 2nd, not too worried about the threat behind him. But Max Anstey, though, was victorious in race 1 by the tune of 3.5 seconds. Tim Geiser came home 3rd, Guillot was 4th, and Damon Growlers was 5th. Andrea Dovizioso, the Ducati rider from MotoGP. Good to have him here. Loves his motocross. Good friends with Tony Cairoli, not here, of course. Right, let's go down to Lisa.
Hello and welcome to the start of the second MX2 race of the day. As you can see, the rain is starting to fall. And I haven't got my umbrella, which isn't ideal, but I think I might just go under Tim Geisser's dad's umbrella, if I can just... Thank you very much. Tim, let's talk about the first race. Very close between yourself, Jonas, and Anstey. You made a little mistake, allowing Max to go through and then eventually get the win. Just tell us what happened there.
Yeah, actually I have a pretty good start from 12 gate, so yeah, I'm really happy with the start, and then the riding was also really good. You know, I found some new lines, but then yeah, there in one corner, you know, I just crashed, and stupid mistake, but anyway, you know, it happened, and then yeah, Jonas and Anstey went yeah, make a little gap, and then you know, was not easy to come back, but yeah, I was feeling really good, so really looking forward for a second moto.
Different conditions now for this second motor. As you can see, the rain is starting to fall. How is that going to change the track out there?
Yeah, actually, not so much, I think, because the track is sandy. So actually, I think the grip will be the same like in first moto. So yeah, I think again the start will be key. So try to make a solid start, and then ride like I know.
Thank you. Good luck. Thank you for letting me use your umbrella as well. Okay, now I want to speak to somebody else that had a very eventful first moto. It's Harry Koulas, who actually is proven to be very good in the sand. You started off as a wild card, Harry, and I know you got your first podium in the sand of Latvia, which actually reminds me a lot of this track here. And of course, you got your fifth in Lommel. What happened in that first race? Because you ended up pushing the bike all the way back to pit lane. I mean, it shows you're strong, but you didn't quite get the points you needed.
Yeah, well, it's sometimes like a mix, you know, so it happens. And yeah, it was pity that couldn't start, like just went on the line and couldn't start, so I had to push all the stars straight to the pit lane. But yeah, we managed to start there, and it was a long race. I was pretty tired, but yeah, we go for the next race, and yeah, it's been a nice season, and just try to enjoy, and track's really nice. It's a bit like champion, like Superstar, so yeah, I hope to be out front with my Will von Estanus Corner Factor Racing, and yeah, we'll see. Second race is ahead, so nothing is lost yet.
Good to see you smiling as well. Good luck. Thank you, Harry. Time now for MX2 Race 2.
So umbrellas up and down at the moment because we've had drizzle. Looks like it may have stopped slightly, but this is how their riders finished in the qualifying race yesterday, won for the fourth time this year by Max Anstey. But in the championship at the moment, after race one then, it's all changed because Paul Jonas now has a 6-point advantage over Tim Geisser. So he's on 4.55, Geisser on 4.49. Valentin Guillot now 23 points off of Tim Geisser. Jeffrey Hurling's 3 points further back, but out of the championship, of course, with that femur injury, pelvis injury. And Max Anstey, 11 points adrift of Hurling. So all being well, Max Anstey will promote himself to fourth. And there he is, your winner from race one, number 99, Max Anstey. And as you can see, it is still raining out there. 92, Valentin Guillot, standing construct Yamaha Yamalube, and Ivo Monticelli, the Marchetti Racing Team KTM rider. Didn't finish the first race, the 128, but a guy who did, 81, Brian Sue. They are the top 5 championship standing positions now at the top of your screen. But Brian Sue, Jeremy Seewer, those guys coming home in 8th and 9th. Adam Sterry there, 8.11 on the Wilvo Fort Rank KTM. Came home in 10th place. Everton started in 7th position. Julian Lieber there, 33, will be looking for a better start. He went down at turn 1. Eventually got himself up to 15th, but he fell 2 or 3 more times in the course of the race. Good to see Filippo Zonta on the line there, number 200 on the Husqvarna. He had a crash on the sighting lap of the qualifying race yesterday. Bike beat him up pretty badly, but he was out in the warm-up. And Ingo Parch, our race director from the FIM, signals this race is a go. 15-second board has gone up. And MX2 is about to get underway for the second time of the day. It was warm and muggy, but dry in the first race. It's a little bit drizzly, although it looks to have stopped again here, but the gate drops now. And Anstey right over on the right-hand side, hanging off the back of his Monster Energy DRT. Kawasaki and the two Suzukis go down, big style. Halfway down the start straight. And so too does Valentin Guillot, and also Benoit Paturel, I think that was number 6. If it is, then that's Paturel. But obviously looking like people locked front brakes there. But Henry Jacobi in 3rd place. A little bit of water and rain on the circuit, but it's Anstey who leads the way. Who's that gone down in the bottom corner? Is that Lieber? I think it might have been. So it wasn't Benoit Paturel. It might have been. It would have been Brent Van Donink. In fact, Brent Van Donink is there, so it might have been Growlers actually, so Growlers. But anyway, here are the lead group of riders. Max Anstey leads the way, number 99 on the green Kawasaki. Benoit Paturel is there in 2nd. Pauls Jonas disappearing around there in 3rd. 4th is Jens Getterman now. Then 5th on the orange KTM with the white helmet is Henry Jacobi on the Saarholz KTM. Then the white HSF Logistics Motorsport machine of Brian Bogus. Then it is a Kawasaki of Petr Petrov. So Petrov, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th place for him. There he is in green. Then Adam Sterry behind him in 8th. Then Geiser in 9th place. And Brent Van Donink in 10th position. So even though the rain has looked like it's stopped here, you can see how greasy it is in places out on track, because even though it's deep in some of the sandy areas, it is very hard and slick underneath as well. So the riders really have to maintain their concentration. Oh, a bit of a pitch there from, I think that was Van Donink. Oh, Kulas in the pit. So going from bad to worse. In the first race, it wouldn't start. They swapped the electrical points over after he pushed it back to pit lane and fired it up, and he was able to get into the points. But obviously having a problem there. But over the line for the first time then, we've got Anstey leading the way. Jonas there, 41 in 2nd. The 6th of Paturel is 3rd. The red Honda J-Tech machine of Jens Getterman of Belgium is 4th. The white KTM of Brian Bogus is 5th. Then the KTM of Jacobi in 6th place. Then the Kawasaki of Petr Petrov. The Monster Energy Kawasaki just here now in that bottom corner is in 7th. Sterry in 8th on the Wilvo Fork Rent KTM. Then Geiser in 9th, closest to the screen at the back of the shot now in the fluorescent colours. So Tim Geiser, Honda Garibaldi scrubs his way neatly. He's going to get on the drive, looks to force the issue, but he's not going to go through here. A little bit throttle happy as well. Where was Valentin Guillot? Well, Guillot obviously crashed going down the start straight. He is out of the points. He's dead and buried in 30th position right now. So too the two Suzukis of 91 and 81, Sue and Jeremy Seewer. Adam Sterry there, 8-11, goes wide. Geiser up the inside, but again, the rhythm section there, you have to get absolute perfect drive if you're going to make it stick from the inside. See the track just under up, and how did he go down there? Petr Petrov. Did he catch somebody's rear wheel there, because the braking bumps going into that top left-hander are not that big. So he must have tagged another rider going into that left-hander, and it must have been Jacobi. Let's have a look again. Oh, already down at that point. But Petrov going out of 7th place. Anstey leading the way once again. Monster Energy DRT Kawasaki. 154.8, the fastest lap of the race. 3.3 seconds clear now of Jonas. Paturel still 3rd. Getterman still 4th. Brian Bogus still 5th. And there's Sterry going through in 6th. Let's have a look what happened at the start, though. It was dramatic over on the far side there as the riders charged down the straight. The two Suzukis there. Oh, Van Donink. Oh, and Guillot. I'd like to see that again from the back angle, actually, because Van Donink definitely got caught and went straight into the path of the two Suzukis and Valentin Guillot. And Valentin Guillot, one of the championship favourites, still trying to work his way through. He's now up in the 27th position as Anstey now asserting himself at the front of the field. Great ride for Benoit Paturel, though. 10th in points before we arrived here. He'll move himself up into 9th. There's Jens Getterman, the J-Tech Honda rider, still circulating in 4th position. He could do with a good result, couldn't he? I was talking to their photographer, Julia Rinaldi, just before the start of the race, and she said, just bad luck for this guy, you know, and what's he got to do to make it happen or turn it around? It was a bent rear brake pedal in race 1 after Covington fell in front of him, and he hit the bike and bent the brake lever right under the cases and had to come back in and get it all straightened out. And there were other problems as well where he collided with Covington's machine, so a little bit of work to do during the race for the J-Tech Honda boys. There's Anstey going through the first corner. Down past pit lane. Here's Jonas, 2nd. Paturel right there in 3rd. 4th for Getterman, 5th for Brian Bogus. Anstey once again setting a fastest lap of the race. Benoit Paturel in blue here on the Kimiya Yamaha Yamalube machine. The 2nd rider in shot, 3rd in the race. Got a 5th in the 2nd moto when we went to Italy the first time. Of course, that being Pietro Murata. He got a 5th in the 2nd moto when we went to Italy for the 2nd time. Of course, that being Maggiora. And he got a 4th in Lockett in the Czech Republic, which he got a 5th and a 4th in those 2 races, did Benoit Paturel. So he is, and that was his best Grand Prix result of the year as well, 4th overall. And this will get him 3rd overall, 6th in race 1, 5th in race 1, potentially 3rd or better here in race 2. Benoit Paturel here in blue could be potentially looking at his first ever podium in MX2. But Paul Jonas not going to make it easy for him on the Red Bull KTM. And Jens Getterman just behind them here in red on the J-Tech Honda. In fact, he's made a mistake because Brian Borges has found his way through, and he's already making a little bit of ground on him as well. So Jens Getterman, who's 19th in the championship, has yet to finish. No, he's had 2 top 10 finishes actually, an 8th in the 2nd race in the sand in the Netherlands at Valkenswaard earlier on in the year, and a 7th in Latvia in race 2. Both of those circuits sandy, of course. So there's Getterman then, coming towards us now in white. He is now in 5th. Then it's Borges 4th, Getterman 5th. There's Geiser in 6th, not really making any inroads on what is effectively a factory 250 HRC machine. But he knows he's got 22 minutes plus 2 laps to go. Henry Jacobi having a great ride in 7th position, just behind him as the back end gets a little bit loose from the Honda of Geiser. Have another look at the start replay. Here we go. Over on the far side, the 2 Suzukis that locked together, and then there was a collision that snagged the Yamaha of Gio, the 2 Suzukis of Brian Soup and Jeremy Seewer. And it was Henry Jacobi. Look at that. How Damon Growlers was avoided there by Harry Koulas, I have no idea. And the foxhole shot, Henry Jacobi on the Saarholz KTM. Around the outside, it would have been very tight. He almost ran out of track. Whoa, he was just a half a bike wheel clear of Anstey. Back with Jacobi. Still circulating inside the top 10 in 7th position, just behind Tim Geiser, who is going to be losing further ground to Paul Jonas in the championship chase. Jacobi didn't do the first 3 rounds, the flyaways, of course. Got Brent Van Donnet behind him there, 172 on the Kimiya Yamaha. Didn't do the 2 rounds in the Netherlands and in Spain at Talavera. Hasn't finished inside the top 10, but was just on the fringes. Well, he's had 2 top 10 finishes and 2 10th place overalls in his home round in Germany. Got an 11th place finish in Belgium. in the second race after not scoring in the first moto. But this will do him a world of good. He's made the break, he's gone with the quick guys at the start of the race, and obviously as the race goes on, able to establish gaps from the guys behind him. But he's got close company in the form of Brent Van Donek just behind him there, 172 in 8th place. Track really starting to chew up now, but would have been a lot rougher had we had a lot of European Championship riders here in action this weekend. Of course, they will be in Assen in the Netherlands, just north of Amsterdam, a couple hours north of Amsterdam in a week's time, where we will be concluding with the 150 Honda CRF European Championship, the 125 two-stroke European Championship, and also the 250 European Championship. There's Nicolas Requier, number 5. He is up into 16th. And there's Guillaume, number 92, behind him. And Jeremy Seewer just getting it wrong slightly. Had to stand it up. Put in the clutch, hit the back brake, and get going again. But Seewer and Guillaume right there. So too Petrov in that group. And also I saw the 919 of Ben Watson. So let's see if we can make sense of this, because I'm sure riders have been moving around. I think we've got Chervelin in 15th. And I think now this guy here leading this group, Nicolas Requier, is in 16th. Then Cyril Schweiler there on the left-hand side was 17th, but Petrov diving down the inside of it, making a wild card debut appearance. Oh, and is that Guillaume catching the rear wheel? It was. And losing ground again, Valentin Guillaume, because Watson going around the outside of him. So having an absolute mare of a race is Valentin Guillaume this time around, talking to his mechanic down in the waiting zone before they went out on their sighting lap as the riders were preparing their start gates. And he said he just didn't get a good feeling with the bike. He was fighting the bike too much in the first race. There's Petrov looking after going for another position here, challenging Nicolas Requier. These guys now fighting over 17th position. So Valentin Guillaume as well, being told by Yves de Maria, his mentor, his trainer, his coach, stop thinking about the championship. Don't think, just ride. And when you ride like that, you will find your level. And maybe Valentin Guillaume just thinking too much about the championship coming into this weekend. As we go back with Jeremy Seewer, Rockstar Energy Suzuki Europe. Number 91, he's in 16th place. So with 17 minutes plus 2 to go, Max Anstey leads by 7.5 seconds. Paul Jonas second, Benoit Paturel is third, Brian Bogers is fourth, Jens Getterman fifth, Tim Geiser sixth, Henry Jacobi is 7th place, Brent Van Donek 8th, Ivo Monticelli 9th, and Thomas Covington of the USA on the Monster Energy Kawasaki is 10th. Davide Bonini, the Italian, is in 11th place. 12th is Julian Lieber. 13th, Samuele Bernardini on the TM. 14th, Adam Sterry. And Michele Chervelin here in 15th on the Martin Junior Racing Honda, battling with Jeremy Seewer, who was a title candidate at the start of the weekend, possibly still is, but had a tough first race and has had an even tougher second race here. So suddenly the contenders now are starting to thin out a little bit. Valentin Guillaume possibly included in that group of riders, but we do still have a lot of points on the board. 150 up for grabs after this race, of course. 3 rounds to go. And 6 motos. There's Sterry going through, so Sterry down in 14th place. Here's Michele Chervelin. And Jeremy Seewer. His teammate Brian Sue didn't make it back into the race after going down spectacularly towards the end of the start straight. But Valentin Guillaume and Jeremy Seewer were able to. I'm sure the 2 Swiss riders will pick themselves up battered and bruised, but have no choice but to rejoin the race and go after points. Don't wait, pass hard. That's the message for Jeremy. Just takes a quick check to see who's behind him. You'll see that Petr Petrov is about 3 seconds adrift on the Monster Energy Kawasaki, maybe not even 3 seconds. So Petrov putting in a hard charge. He's also made a mistake, of course, from 7th place early on in the race. So this technical sand circuit now starting to Sort a few riders out, certainly caught a few people out this weekend. That's for sure, but Jacoby back to 7th place here in the white helmet, the Saarholz KTM. Brent Van Donnick in the Yamaha Yamalube. Still can't find his way past the young German. See the braking bumps just as they go from the flat into the base of the hill. They really do start to jet out. 3, 4, 5 braking bumps all the way up. Bang, 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 bang. On those switchback hill turns. I wonder if Anstey's still tripling through there. Van Donnick looking interested though. Closer than he has been, I think, in this battle with Jacoby. So 14 minutes to go, plus 2 laps. And Max Anstey now almost 10 seconds clear of Pauls Jonas. In terms of the championship, Max Anstey, after race 1, found himself 43 points off the lead. He will now be 40 points off the lead. So starting to claw those points back. And with 150 up for grabs after this weekend, obviously you can sense the uphill challenge. Pauls Jonas, we knew he would be consistent. We know that Red Bull KTM is good at getting him out of the start. And once you're there, you just have to ride smart, ride safe, and let everybody else around you blow themselves up, as has Valentin Guillot in Lommel and now here this weekend. And Tim Geiser not having the best, although he's found himself now up in the 5th place, past Jens Getterman. But while Jonas is sat there in 2nd place for the 2nd time, there he is up in that opposite corner. All the while, Jonas is extending that lead. Here is Jonas, Red Bull KTM Factory Racing. The young Latvian arrived here 4 points clear of Tim Geiser. Extended it out to 6 after race 1. It's now out to 12 points because Jonas on 4.77, Geiser with that pass on Jens Getterman, getting him into 5th place, giving him 16 points, puts him on 4.65. Here is Tim Geiser on the Garibaldi. And I think he's found his way past Brian Bogas as well. Yeah, he has. So another position. So 2 places finally then for Tim Geiser, making a hard move down the inside at the end of the pit lane. So Geiser then suddenly starting to pick off a couple of points. So that will change as he comes over this time around. Anstey, Jonas, Geiser, your potential podium at the moment. That'll push Benoit Paturel off. Paturel 3 seconds down on Jonas. There he is, and he's now starting to get caught by Tim Geiser. So it looks like it might be another 4th place overall finish for Benoit Paturel, depending on what Tim Geiser does, of course. Getterman not done yet. Getterman now going after Brian Bogas. So Bogas, 189 from the Netherlands on the HSF Logistics Motorsport machine in white. And Jens Getterman, JTEC Honda rider of Belgium, former MX2 Belgian champion, has got the KTM rider in his sights. Couple of pulls at the roll-off. Where would this put Getterman? Well, he didn't score points in the first race, so it'd just be 15 points, 15th overall. But Anstey still leading the way. Tim Geiser, though, setting the first sector, the fastest sector of the race, a 31.324, after setting his personal best, fastest lap time that time around on lap 9. So really starting to throw it down now and go after Benoit Paturel, the Kimiya Yamaha rider. Tim Geiser, 2:43, as he looks to go after Paturel for third. But this battle here between the Dutchman Brian Bogus on the white HSF Logistics Motorsport KTM and Jens Getterman, who just got out of the rut there at the wrong time, messed up the rhythm section completely. You can see how expensive it was. On, off in all the wrong places there for Getterman, and Bernardini's down. Is that turn 2? No. Oh, catching the bank as he goes towards the Ippon jump, opposite the finish line area. Oh, and Adam Sterry hard on the brakes, so too Jeremy Seewer. So Bernardini out of 13th. Anstey trying to keep a clean view ahead of him, wasting no time getting to the front today. Max Anstey will find himself all of a sudden third in the championship, which has been a great day for him. 7th at the start of the day. He would have overhauled Jordi Tixier, who was a non-starter after cracking or fracturing a bone in his wrist yesterday on his first lap in time training. Jeremy Seewer and Valentin Guillot. He'll be 30 points down on Geiser, 40 points down on Jonas. Jonas, for sure, the most consistent rider out on track after Max Anstey in the last few races, as Geiser still goes in pursuit of Benoit Paturel. Just there, blew ahead of him. Took a quick look up there, did Geiser. Here's Paturel, number 6, Kimiya Yamaha, and he's all over the back of Jonas. So all of a sudden then, we could see some changes here. Benoit Paturel going after Jonas, and he's bringing with him Tim Geiser. So has Jonas just started to fade a little bit here? Slight little hang up there going into that bottom right-hander, and Geiser will look up as well and see not only Benoit Paturel, but his main challenger in the championship, who is now 10 points clear of him in the title race. Suddenly starting to come back towards it, and Paturel not going to take any prisoners here with just under 7 minutes plus 2 laps to go in this second MX2 race. This could put him on the podium, depending on what happens here, of course. Anstey on 50, Jonas on 44 with 2 seconds, Geiser on 38, and then Paturel on 35. And obviously, if both these guys, Paturel and Geiser, go through, that will affect the points and quite possibly the podium. So we'll keep an eye on that as and when, or if we have to. But the normal rule applies. It's one thing catching a rider. It's an entirely different thing altogether, trying to find a way through. Geiser, you just hear that thing bouncing off the rev limiter there. This is where Bernardini crashed a lap ago. Really got his head down now. Tim Geiser, took him a while to get there. Certainly looks more comfortable here than he did at Lommel 3 weeks ago, which was the last round, round 14. So second, third, fourth, all in the same shot, all on the same part of the racetrack. Led by Klaus Jonas, Red Bull KTM Factory Racing in orange at the bottom there. Benoit Paturel, Kimiya Yamaha, makes a slight mistake. Behind him in 4th place. Getterman still having a great ride in 5th behind Tim Geisert, but what, 7 seconds back. Oh, Paturel being caught here by Geisert. Obviously didn't get through there very clean, and Geisert alongside the Frenchman takes a look across as well. And Geisert will now work out. Oh, how close was that? Caught the rear wheel of Benoit Paturel on the downside of the finish line jump. I thought he was going to go out and square him off, and I think he tried jumping across to the left, from right to left, and just clipped the rear wheel. How he kept it upright, I have no idea, but maybe we'll see a replay of it, but hasn't put him off. Switching it up though, Tim Geisert. And he's going to get the drive here, keeps it nice and low. This time he goes through. And slows it right down as well, gets on the gas right at the last minute, just to make sure. So Geisert then, what, lap 12? Or 13 laps in, sorry. Finds himself now in 3rd place, going after Jonas. And boy, wouldn't he like to pull another couple of points back. Oh, just getting a little bit throttle happy there, the back end getting loose on him. On that red Honda. But once again, 2nd, 3rd, 4th in the same shot, same part of the racetrack. This time it's Jonas, Geisert and Paturel. All of a sudden, Jonas coming under attack from Geisert. And you can hear that Honda out on the racetrack there. The only ones really that bounce off the limiter like that. Oh, aggressive riding there, but kept it clean. Goes through into 2nd, Tim Geisert. A good Slovenian contingent here as well. You can hear him whistling out on the hillside. But Jonas looking to respond. Well, this could get a little bit naughty here. Jonas doesn't really need to involve himself in this. But at the same time, he will know that those 2 points could be vital in the championship. Best case scenario is that, watch this, finds his way past Benoit Paturel, Tim Geisert. Slowed it right down here, knew exactly what was going on, and then dumped the hammer right there. Team look on. And then half a lap later, got good drive coming out of the bottom right-hander. Again, went in and out early. He could have collected him, but didn't. Got off the gas, got back on again, did just enough to know, to let Jonas know that he was there. And the Slovenian's loving it. Now has to maintain his focus. But what's going on behind him? Is Jonas under attack from Benoit Paturel? The answer is yes. So suddenly, Jonas on 4.75, Geisert on 4.71. The gap is back down to 4 points in the fight for the title. Jonas cannot afford to be passed here by Benoit Paturel. Paturel won't mind about that though. Paturel can't get on the podium here because Anstey on 50, Geisert 42, Jonas on 42. So the points, a share of the points for them, 2 main title rivals. Paturel tried to have a look around the outside, got it completely wrong though. Lost a couple of bike lengths. Gets nicely through there though. You can hear that Honda ahead of these guys as he goes in pursuit now of Max Anstey, but that gap is almost 13 seconds between Anstey, our race leader, and Tim Geisert now in 2nd on the Honda Garibaldi machine. This though is the battle for 3rd, more importantly in terms of the championship chase as well. Jonas is going to finish 3rd overall, even if Paturel finds a way through, but it's points that are all important here. Jonas arrived here 4 points clear of Tim Geisert, and it's back to 4 points. Because Geisert, 3rd in race 1, now 2nd. Jonas, second in race 1 and now third. 42 apiece. Still had a great weekend though, Paul Jonas. Arrived here with the championship leaders red plate. Hasn't shown any nerves. Makes us think that he's not feeling any kind of pressure. But he will know now, though, that with, what, 2.5 laps to go, he cannot afford to make any mistakes here. Because if that's another 2 points pulled back, suddenly we go from 4.75, 4.71, which is a 4-point gap, to a 2-point gap. Anstey going through. There's Lapucci, the guy who crashed out spectacularly in the first race. He's out of the points at the moment, but as Anstey gets his way around the circuit and is already crossing the line with 2 laps to go with a 1:57.494. Geiser a 1:57.0. It's 12.2 seconds adrift. Anstey got this one under control for now. Jonas third, Paturel fourth. Nothing in it between those two. Getterman fifth. Covington up to 6th place now on the Montrenji Kawasaki. So while we've been concentrating on all these battles here, Covington getting himself in the mix in 6th position. Brian Boger's now in 7th. Van Donnick 8th. And Guillaume down again. Guillaume out of 12th. And his teammate going past him, Julian Lieber. And that is just ahead of Max Anstey. So Anstey will look up and he will see that was the crash, that was the corner where Guillaume crashed a moment ago. But Anstey won't be too worried about that. He just knows that he's got to go out and win races, score points. As long as he does that, the rest will take care of itself. But 2 to go. So Anstey leads the way. Geiser second, Jonas third, Paturel fourth, Getterman fifth, Covington 6th, Boger's 7th, Van Donnick 8th, Jacobi now 9th, and Monticelli 10th. Siwa 11th, Julian Lieber 12th, Guillaume is 13th actually. Now Petrov 14th, Sterry 15th, Bonini 16th, Chervelin 17th, Duval 18th, Growlers 19th, and Ben Watson is 20th as this battle continues here for 3rd place. Pulse Jonas on the number 41, the red plate on the front of that Red Bull KTM, makes a mistake getting in that bottom corner, but Paturel having to work extremely hard. This is for 3rd in the race. And Jonas getting ready to take the 1-lap board now, coming out of the final corner. A 4th place finish in the 2nd race. And Lockett, the Czech Republic, that got him 4th overall in the Grand Prix. Is the best that Paturel has had. He's going to equal that here in terms of his result here in the 2nd race, in terms of best race finish. And along with his 6th in race 1, he will be 4th overall again this weekend. But if he finds his way past Paul Jonas, he will still be 4th overall, but it will be another 4th overall for him. Tim Geiser, 13 seconds down of this guy here, number 99, Max Anstey. Geiser won't give up though, he'll keep fighting. Likewise, Anstey, he'll like to cruise the last 1/3 of the lap, but knows he can't take his eye off the ball, needs to keep that focus. Otherwise, that's when things start to go wrong. Rider at the bottom of the hill here. Problem with that machine. Here's Geiser. Jonas still looks to be in control of that 3rd position. Oh, only just though. Look how close it was. Paturel might even find a way through at the bottom of the hill here. There's Anstey going through. Final jump for him. Out of the final turn, Max Anstey will make it a double moto victory, this time here in Italy, in Lombardia. So another overall Grand Prix for the Monster Energy DRT Kawasaki. Max Anstey. Geiser over the line in second. Goes through 11 seconds down, and Jonas will hang on for third. Paturel will be fourth. And Anstey, Geiser, Jonas in the race. Anstey, Geiser, Jonas for the podium as well. And Getterman comes over the line in fifth for JTech Honda. A great ride for him, a great finish as well. Covington sixth, Brian Bogus seven, Brent Van Donning eighth. We wait for Henry Jacobi to come through in ninth place. That'll be a good result for the Saarholz KTM rider who grabbed the Foxhole shot earlier on in the race. Goes through now. Oh, Jeremy Seewer, a problem with that Rockstar Energy Suzuki Europe machine. He was in 11th. And that's over at the bottom of one of the loops. He's going to try and push it back, isn't he? Oh, he's got a long way to go. That is right in the middle, opposite the finish line area. So Seewer then, I wonder if that was a result of the crash. But anyway, here's Max Anstey, your overall winner. He's with Lisa.
Max Anstey, congratulations. Another double moto win, another victory, your third victory of the season, and you're now third in the championship. You've clawed those points back.
Wow, no, that's amazing. You know, it's, you know, I'm learning. I come here to grow and to learn, and I feel, you know, I just focused on my thing and my process to get it done. Actually, that second race there was I was doing a little bit of damage control. I had a slight problem with the adjuster on the clutch, and it had gone really tight from literally the second lap. So I was really having to try to not like burn up the engine and get it hot. But it's been a really good couple of days, to be honest, because I've had a mix different races, you know, falling off in the first one and coming through and really learning a lot. And it's nice to be out here racing with the guys. They're all riding really well, and like you said, it's tightening up. So we'll see. Just keep going and go and have lots of fun at the next few.
Congratulations. Thank you, Max.
Max Anstey then takes his 8th race win of the season. He was a winner in race 2 in Germany, a double winner in Latvia, a race winner in the Czech Republic, a Lockett before throwing away 25 vital World Championship points in the second race there. But he was a double winner in Belgium at Lommel last time out. He does it again here at Mantova. And along with that, his third overall Grand Prix win of the season. Max Anstey and Monster Energy DRT Kawasaki on top here in Italy. Official confirmation then of race 2, MX2. Max Anstey, your winner by 11 seconds over Tim Geiser, Pauls Jonas, Benoit Petrel and Jens Getterman. And the overall goes to Max Anstey, Tim Geiser and Jonas. Paturel 4th overall again. Guillaume 5th, Van Donnick 6th, Petrov 7th and Jacobi 8th. Good result for him. 9th for Damon Growless and 10th for Adam Sterry. And that 8th overall is the best result for Henry Jacobi on the Saarholz KTM. Championship now looks like this. Jonas now 4 points. It's back to 4 points as it was at the start of the day. Geiser second, Anstey now up to third, gaining 4 positions this weekend at the expense of Guillaume, Hurling, Seewer and Tixier. Paturel now up to 9th, and Petrov loses a place and drops to 10th from the Monster Energy Kawasaki. No improvement for Jens Getterman on the JTech Honda, but a brilliant 5th place finish for him in race 2.
Tutte le classifiche sia di campionato che di costruttori e naturalmente dopo una
It was tight at the start of the race, but the Fox whole shot in MX2 race 2 went to Henry Jacobi and Sandro Marcos, the Fox MX athlete manager, on hand to deliver his first black plate. But it still looks like this though. Tonkov, Hurlings and Anstey all leading the way on 6. So the podium then this weekend, 3rd overall, Red Bull KTM Factory Racing's Pols Jonas from Latvia. Been a tough day for him, but he's got through it. Tim Geiser, massive Slovenian contingent here for him this weekend. The Honda Garibaldi rider takes 2nd overall, but Max Anstey taking his 3rd overall Grand Prix victory, another double moto win as well. And the Monster Energy DRT Kawasaki rider stands proudly on the top step of the podium here in Lombardia. Steve Dixon, team owner, team manager. He knows that he can't do any more than he's doing. So it's going to be an interesting finale. Final 3 rounds, but Pols Jonas takes his 3rd place trophy. And the Honda Garibaldi rider will take, or Tim Geiser will take his trophy from Oreste Peri. Great to be back here. Last time was back in 2010. Max Anstey, though, the winner here this weekend. Ivan Bidorini, president of Corre Lombardia, handing him a very nice piece of silverware. Of course, Steve Dixon will pick up the manufacturer's trophy on behalf of Kawasaki from Giovanni Pavesi, the president of MC Tazio Nuvolari. The team are working very hard down there at Monster Energy DRT. Injury got off to a tough start with injury problems, but Tony Skillington, the FIM CMS director, hands the red plate for the 2nd time to Pols Jonas. Like I say, he got through it. He arrived here 4 points clear. He leaves here 4 points clear. Next stop will be Assen in the Netherlands in a week's time at the infamous road race circuit, the cathedral of motorsport. But it's national anthem of Great Britain for Max Anstey. Max Anstey, Tim Geiser and Pols Jonas, who looks in very pensive, very thoughtful mood after 3rd overall this weekend. They are your top 3 on the podium here at Mantova, the MX2 Grand Prix of Lombardia. There was a small gain in points for Max Anstey, and he's now up into 3rd in the overall classification. And here's how it went down. Well, there was a bit of drama going down into turn 1. Max Anstey got a good jump. So too did the 2 Suzukis of Brian Hsu and Jeremy Seewer, Valentin Guillot, but it all went wrong before the end of the start straight. Valentin Guillot also getting caught up in that, as well as Damon Growlers. As the race went on, though, Pols Jonas was doing a great job of fending off and holding on to 2nd. But it was Geiser who was on the charge, eventually got himself up through the field to get into 2nd. Samuele Bernardini wasn't so lucky, he crashed out of the points. But the Slovenians turned out to support their man. who eventually came home in second. Anstey, though, was in a class of his own. Jonas came home in third, Petrov fourth, and Jens Getterman was fifth. But we will go down and talk to our overall winner once again. Here's Max Anstey. He's with Lisa.
Max Anstey, overall winner here at the MXGP at Lombardia. You seem to be in a class of your own, but two different races for you. You made a mistake in the first race, but the second race you just stayed out of trouble, really. And you've clawed those points back, and you're third in the championship.
No, it's awesome. We've had a nice couple of weeks off, and nice to come back here and be back on the box again. And you know, we've still got a lot of races to go in a way, and a lot can happen. And you know, I'm just doing my work and doing my best. I've got to say a huge thanks to all the guys, Steve, the team, everyone, DRT, Monster Energy, Kawasaki, and all the sponsors that are behind us. You know, it all makes it worthwhile when we wake up Monday morning and we've got a trophy to look at. So thanks to everyone that's come, Jason, SWP Concrete, everyone there. You know, all the guys that are here to support. It's been awesome, and no, keep on rolling.
Can you do it? Do you think you can win this championship?
You know, I don't really feel like it's in my hands. I feel like, you know, the other guys are all riding really, really well, and all I'm doing is focusing on my thing and my process, and going to race. And if I keep getting good results, great, we'll see. But I do need a lot of luck to obviously pull it all back together. But there's a lot of great tracks coming up. I'm really looking forward to America and things like that. So I don't know. It's nice to be in this position. It's nice to keep going, and I'm just happy where I'm at right now.
Congratulations, Max. Enjoy your win. Second overall today, we have Tim Geiser. Tim, some aggressive but clean racing from you today. What happened in that second race? You almost caught Benoit's wheel at the end there. Can you remember?
The start, you mean, on the finish line jump?
During the second moto.
Yeah, you know, I have really bad start. You know, I was around 10, something like that, and then yeah, I have to work really hard. You know, the track, it's not easy to pass, you know, but anyway, I managed to come back to the second place, save some important points for the championship. I think we are still 4 points behind Jonas, so yeah, I'm really happy with the weekend, so really looking forward for the Assen, and I wanna say thank you to all my team, everybody around me, all my family, my father, my dad, everybody. Thank you, guys.
Great job. Thank you, Tim. Third overall today, and is still holding his red plate. Still just 4 points, Paul Jonas, in front of Tim Geiser. Your Red Bull KTM factory bike has got you good starts, and you've just been quite consistent today, haven't you?
Yeah, for sure. Second and third, it's not so bad result, but I'm really disappointed about my riding in the second moto. I was riding really bad, and yeah, I'm really happy that I'm on a podium with riding like that. But for sure, we will go put some work in this week, and then get ready for the Assen. But I have to say, big thanks for the Red Bull Factory KTM team. Yeah, the bike really pulls the really good starts, and I'm consistent top starter. So that's pretty good. And for sure, all my family, my friends, my fans, and Stefan Ebert, Willie Linden, my mechanic Wayne, and Gatis. Yeah, without everyone around me, I couldn't do it.
Great job. Thank you, Paul.
Top three then this weekend. Paul Jonas, Red Bull KTM Factory Racing, taking his 6th podium of the year, but he was disappointed with how he rode in the second race. Either way, though, he still has a 4-point advantage over this guy, Tim Geiser, Honda Garibaldi rider. Again, he also has 6 podiums, so it really is tight between the top 2 contenders in the fight for the championship. But Max Anstey, still not out of it yet. His 4th podium of the year, his 3rd overall win. He got 2nd in Germany, which is where he picked up his first race win. And Max Anstey on the Monster Energy DRT Kawasaki, as he said a moment ago in his post-race interview, it's kind of out of his hands, really. Going to need a little bit of luck. Focus on what he's doing, and who knows. But 3 rounds to go. Assen, Mexico, and Glen Helen in the USA. This championship really is still wide open. Right, we'll be back in a moment for MXGP Race 2. As you can see, they are out on their sighting lap.
Entra in questo istante anche il nostro Davide Guarneri, poi è la volta di De Giar.